Nous déclarons que l'opération Déluge d'Al-Aqsa a commencé.
אנחנו במלחמה ואנחנו ננצח בה.
תן לו ריבון! אללה אכבר! אללה אכבר!
וואלה, מה אנחנו מנהסים!
Civilians must be protected and also never use the shields.
After Russia and Ukraine, this time they have moved to Israel. Who am I talking about? Of course, I'm talking about the USA. The West have this time moved to the Arabic world. And they are in their mission to put conflict in the Arabic region. For what reasons? That's what we'll discuss in this video. But before that, you have to know that the war between Israel and Palestine, it have divided the world. This war have just left the world in a serious confusion that most of leaders, they don't even know how to position themselves. Like always, the USA, they were number one to give their positions between Israel and Palestine. Uncle Joe Biden came and said this.
The United States and our partners across the region are working to build a better future for the Middle East. One where the Middle East is more stable, better connected to its neighbors, and through innovative projects like the India-Middle East-Europe Rail Corridor that I announced this year at the summit of the world's biggest economies. American leadership is what holds the world together. American alliances are what keep us, America, safe. American values are what make us a partner that other nations want to work with. To put all that at risk, if we walk away from Ukraine, if we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it. That's why tomorrow I'm going to send to Congress an urgent budget request to fund America's national security needs, to support our critical partners, including Israel and Ukraine. It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations. Help us keep American troops out of harm's way. Help us build a world that is safer, more peaceful, more prosperous for our children and grandchildren. In Israel, we must make sure that they have what they need to protect their people today and always. We're going to make sure Iron Dome continues to guard the skies over Israel. We're going to make sure other hostile actors in the region know that Israel is stronger than ever and prevent this conflict from spreading.
Wait there. As you all know, the USA like it whatsoever they take as their decisions. Everyone should go ahead and follow it. Their democracy that they always preach, it simply means to say that whatsoever they decide to do is what the world have to agree with them. Regardless of what is happening, regardless of what the Israel government is doing to Palestine. So this left many nations out there to find it hard in order for them to position themselves against Israel. Do you know why? Some of these countries, they are partners with the US, so they have to go and support the US. For an example, all the NATO countries that are supporting the choice that the US took in this conflict between Israel and Palestine. Whether it is France, whether it is British, whether it is Belgium, whether it is Germany, whether it is whoever who is under the NATO nations, they are all supporting the idea, the cruel idea that the USA has put in place. Now, what is the position of Africa leaders in all these matters? What are they saying? Which side are they taking? Are they with Israel or are they with Palestinian people? We have to ask this question so that we can both be in the same page, because already most of African leaders, they are kind of like trying to keep silence and not trying to pronounce themselves officially. They kind of like they are afraid of the West because they don't want to be involved in all this. This is not what Africa need anymore. This is not how things are supposed to be anymore. This is not how things are supposed to be. Things have changed around. Everyone, they are coming out and trying to pronounce themselves on which country they want to side with. So Africa should also come forward and do that. Some African leaders have that courage to condemn what is happening in Palestine and side with people of Palestine. But some prefer just to mute themselves without giving their point of view about the whole situation. So it needed someone like Julius Malema to come forward and give his point of view in behalf of Africa continent about what is happening between Israel and Palestine. One thing I like about Julius Malema is how brave he is. This gentleman, he knows how to place his words at the right place to the right people who need to understand his message. Sometimes you will even ask yourself a question to know whether Julius Malema is a really politician or not. Because politicians, they don't have this kind of language when it comes to one another. Politicians are full of hypocrisy, which is not the case of Julius Malema. Julius Malema, with his people, went all the way to the Israel embassy, where he had to pass a very strong message concerning Africa's point of view and remind the world of what exactly has been going on in Palestine all these times, so that we can get where we are today. Without delay, I'm inviting you to watch this video more carefully. Listen to what Julius Malema had said.
We are here to do a simple task, to tell Israel and the world to know that we are on the side of Palestine. We are not neutral, because neutrality during the difficult times is equal to selling out. Palestinians will remember the silence of those who kept quiet during difficult times. We are here today in Pretoria, the heart of apartheid. The reason why we are able to come and march here today and do it freely, without soldiers carrying guns, without police carrying guns, without us being intimidated, is because the people of the world stood with us during difficult times. It was the people of Nigeria who took their money from their salaries and donated to liberation movement for us to get our freedom. It was the anti-apartheid movement in America, in UK, in many other parts of the world, where the world stood in solidarity with us and said, we will not sit down and watch the Afrikaner apartheid regime killing our people in South Africa. That's why we have our freedom today. We are here to extend the same favor to the children of Palestine. The war in Palestine is not a holy war, it's an evil war. Because even here, the apartheid Afrikaner regime used to say they are the chosen ones, used to say they are children of God and we are animals. So when the Minister of Defense of Israel calls Palestinians animals, we know what he means, because we were called animals ourselves here in South Africa by those who were claiming they were sent by God. There is no holy war there, there is an evil war, and we must always stand against the evil. Comrades, what type of government do we have in Israel that goes and bomb a hospital where people have run away for refugee, where people are sick, where children are there, where pregnant women are there? You bomb a hospital and you say you are looking for Hamas, but you are killing innocent children.
So this is Julius Malema, one of the Pan-Africans that we have in our daily time. This man, he started giving his speech by reminding the history, by reminding the world that it is not only Palestine that they are going through this. South Africa, we have been through that. And we saw how the world treated us. We saw those who were there for South Africa. He said that he's not surprised to see the Israelite defense minister calling the Palestinians names. He's not surprised about that, because even the time of apartheid, South Africans were called also names such as the animals. So the man is reminding the world that the kind of treatment that you guys are seeing, that the world is giving to these Palestinians, is not something that is new into this world. Many people, many revolutions movement, they've been through that. But he's saying that they are calling these people names, they are treating them this way, they are trying to eliminate them in this way, saying that what Hamas have done in Israel, in Gaza, it is something that it is the demonic and the devil, and like they call it by all means. They try to give it that proper name so that they'll be able to come back and revenge. Okay, let us just say that it is true, and things that seem to be the way they are trying to make it look like out there. What about what they're doing right now? What about what the Israelites, they are busy doing right now in Palestine? Because we all saw how these people went all the way and bombed an hospital where they were full of children and women, people who are defenseless. These people, they went there seeking for the help, seeking for the medical treatment, because all the places that they were living were bombed. A lot of them died already. And the remaining ones, that the one who decided to go at least go and seek the medical treatment. Now tell me, how cruel is that? You have to have that courage to go and bomb such kind of places. You eliminate all those places. You go ahead and eliminate all those people. And the next thing, you know what they did? They deny it. Whether it is their partner number one, the USA, they deny. Israel, they deny as well.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. But there's a lot of people out there not sure. So we got to overcome a lot of things. And it also means encouraging life-saving capacity to help the Palestinians who are innocent, caught in the middle of this. Israel, as they respond to these attacks, it seems to me that they have to continue to ensure that you have what you need to defend yourselves. And we're going to make sure that occurs, as you know. And we have to also bear in mind that Hamas does not represent all the Palestinian people. And it has brought them only suffering.
Now, who's telling the truth? Who's lying here? Because we all know what the Prime Minister of Israel had said. This man was very clear in his message. He said that they were going to leave a stone unturned. He was very clear when he said that they were going to revenge in a very hard way. He even says that this will be a lesson for those who are enemy to Israel, should know and take a lesson from it, that Israel does not play. Before even they start all this bombing, that hospital, the one that they bombed last week, that hospital was among the places which they had asked for people to evacuate it. So they're kind of like asking people to evacuate, but at the same time they're busy following them and killing them. Beside the hospital, do you guys still remember what happened to people who were in the temple, in church, in other words, if I have to put it in that way? These people, they ran in church seeking for refugee, and these people, they went and strike over those places. People died inside the church. Since when we are now attacking churches? And they're doing all this saying that no, we're taking revenge for what the Hamas did in Gaza. But guys, if you are talking about revenge, I believe, according to myself, it is people of Palestine who have to revenge themselves from all these things that have been going on for all these years. Not Israel. Israel is the one who's busy taking the land of Palestinians. They are actually the one who does not want to respect the sovereignty of Palestinians. So Julius Malema went on and said that what the Hamas did was not wrong, according to Julius Malema, because he considered this Hamas as a revolutionary movement. And as a revolutionary, you should know exactly how to deal with your oppressors. Have listened to what Julius Malema said about this.
There is nothing wrong Hamas did. There's folk tongues and people speaking in parables and we don't know what they are hearing, what they are saying. It's wrong. When you are oppressed, the only option you have is to fight. And that's what Hamas is doing. They are fighting for their freedom. Mandela did the same thing, took up the guns and fought for the freedom of the people of South Africa. When you are oppressed, you only have one option: confront the enemy and shoot to kill. Do not kiss the enemy. Why do you want to kiss the enemy? People came, took the land of the Palestinians. Every year they extend their occupation. When you look at the map of Palestine, there is nothing left of land in Palestine. The people of Palestine have got nothing to lose but their chains. They must stand up and fight for their freedom, and condemning Hamas is an act of cowardice. I heard some fools saying we can't compare Hamas with Mandela and them, they are the same. This president of Areta carried guns. He was shooting to kill, to liberate you. He was doing exactly what Hamas is doing. O.R. Tambo did the same thing. Chris Hani did the same thing. Winnie Mandela did the same thing. Steve Biko did the same thing. There is nothing wrong Hamas is doing.
Does this make sense? Let us ask ourselves a question. For an example, is it true that the Israelites, they went and occupied the land of Palestine and start taking over slow by slow into the point of finishing the whole Palestine country? If that is the case, who's wrong here? Who deserves to be blamed? Because we have the United Nations Charter, which seems to be violated, and no one is talking about it. No one is condemning it. No one is trying to address this matter in the proper way to let the world or the people who are in conflict that no, look, stop what you're doing, because what you're doing is not respecting our Freedom Charter or our United Nations Charter. If you are doing like this, we have to deal with you in other different manners because you are violating the right of our United Nations Charter. They are not doing so. Instead, they keep quiet. You guys will saw it again. Like I always tell you, that whatsoever the US decides to say or to do is what the rest of the world they have to follow, because that's how they want things to be done. For an example, look what is happening in Palestine. What is the point of view of the UN? What is the ICC doing at the moment in order for those who are committing this serious crime against the humanity to pay? Instead, they are all quiet. They are not doing much. Do you know why? Because the United States of America, they are behind all this. So they are respecting their master, which is the US. Because they know if they have to go and be harsh on the Israelites, they will find out that no, the USA will become their enemy number one. That's the reason why they don't condemn that much. They don't blame that much. All they seek, all they ask is for a cease of fire. All they say is asking for peace. How can you bring peace without solving the problem? Because all these people are being killed in Palestine. All these children that are being bombarded in the hospital. Those who are surviving from it, do you think that they'll just keep quiet for the rest of their life without doing anything about all this? No. Instead, they'll come back as well. So why can't we just look each other into the eyes and condemn firmly of what has been happening there in Palestine? So Julius Malema defended the Hamas attack, saying that it is a self-defense against the oppressors. He even said that condemning Hamas attack is being cowardness. Because for a person who has sense, for a person who knows exactly what's been going over there, you will understand that this is just a revolutionary movement which they are trying to protect their dignity and their territory. So Julius Malema even went for saying that next year election in South Africa, if it happened that he win these elections, he's going to do something about all these things that's been going on. What is he going to do?
Comrades, we are not only going to arm Hamas, we are going to remove this embassy. Because we can't stay with murderers in the same area, breathe the same air with people who kill innocent people. Don't listen to those who are here on Friday coming for PR. They've got the power to remove this nonsense behind this truck. They are not removing it. Why? They are getting money from the Israeli government. That's why they are scared of the Israeli government. This war of Palestine will never be won if our actions and our talk are not the same. We must always put our money where our mouth is. And that will be demonstrated next year. This nonsense of Israel can only be stopped if South Africa takes a position and say, leave, the whole African continent will join, the whole progressive international world will join, and say Palestine embassies must leave.
So Julius Malema said that it's not going only to arm the Hamas, instead is going to remove the Israel embassy in South Africa. This is not the first time this man is saying this. He had said it before, many times, saying that according to him, he don't even see the reason why South Africa, they continue to be in a relationship with people who are killing innocent people, with people who are violating the right of other nations, which is Israel. So this is something that Julius Malema will do soon or later, because he keep on repeating it. And you should have seen on how he treated the Israel ambassador yesterday. It did not have any value for him. He could not even recognize him. Instead, he did recognize the presence of ambassador of Palestine. He did not even bring any memorandum to this Israel embassy, because he says that they are considering them as a terrorist. Therefore, they can't go ahead and bring a memorandum to them. Instead, he wanted to make sure that his message goes straight to the right people who are supposed to be listening to this message. He wants to make sure that the Jerusalem get to hear this message. Even the US with their alliance, all of them, they should be aware that in Africa, there is a country which does not want to position themselves with what decision the US they have taken. Now, let us talk a little bit about why this is happening right now. Why the US with their alliance, they are now getting involved in the Arabic region. Because we need to understand, this conflict between Israel and Palestine has been going on for so many years. But why the US with their alliance, they are deciding to come in right now? What are them benefiting from all this? What are their really mission? In order for us to understand, let me take you back to the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. NATO nations, they were up to something. And guys, please keep in mind, when we're talking about NATO nations, number one country that we see there, it is the US of Uncle Joe Biden, right? So when they want to bring instability in the Middle East, in order for them to defeat Russia, or in order for them to become more powerful than Russia, they had to use one of the Russian neighboring countries in order for them to come and impose their movement leadership over there. And this time they had to go for Ukraine. Looking at things how they were, Russia was not having problem that much with Ukraine. Russia never want to get invade Ukraine. But the US, they have to just go through that small conflict that Russia was having with Ukraine all this time. And they had to go to the rescue of Ukraine by saying that no, Ukraine should be part of the NATO nations. That simply means to say they were supposed to send their military base over there. And that is something that Russia, as a powerful nation, they were not going to accept. They were not going to tolerate that. And that is how Russia, they had to try to protect themselves against this NATO nation movement that was about to come involved in their countries. But since Russia took that decision, we saw how the US with their alliance, they came in their powers, putting money, we're talking about billions of money, putting it on the table so that they'll be able to defeat Russia. They did all they could. You guys, you heard President Joe Biden last week, what he said. When we're expecting for him to come up with a message that can bring peace, come up with an idea that can make this world become a right place and people, they can live and sleep in their home. No, that was not the case with Uncle Biden. Instead, he came again to put even more fire on what's been burning already by saying this.
On Ukraine, I'm asking Congress to make sure we can continue to send Ukraine the weapons they need to defend themselves and their country without interruption, so Ukraine can stop Putin's brutality in Ukraine. They are succeeding. When Putin invaded Ukraine, he thought he would take Kyiv. and all of Ukraine in a matter of days. Well, over a year later, Putin has failed, and he continues to fail. Kyiv still stands because of the bravery of the Ukrainian people. Ukraine has regained more than 50% of the territory Russian troops once occupied, backed by U.S.-led coalition of more than 50 countries around the world, all doing its part to support Kyiv. What would happen if we walked away? We are the essential nation. Meanwhile, Putin has turned to Iran and North Korea to buy attack drones and ammunition to terrorize Ukrainian cities and people. From the outset, I've said, I will not send American troops to fight in Ukraine. All Ukraine is asking for is help for the weapons, munitions, the capacity, the capability to push invading Russian forces off their land, and the air defense system to shoot down Russian missiles before they destroy Ukrainian cities.
Listening to him talking, you'll understand that this conflict in Ukraine, it has nothing to do with the Ukrainian people. They did not choose to have this kind of conflict. Instead, they are being used by the West power so that they can be there as the middle battlefield that the USA can fight Russia. But if they believe that they're that strong enough, why they can't just go ahead and start fighting Russia immediately, face to face, and leave Ukraine out of this? Because at the end of the day, it is people of Ukraine who've been dying. Well, it is very simple to understand. The USA is fighting Russia through Ukraine. And they've been hiding themselves all this time, saying that no, we are here to help people of Ukraine to defend themselves against Russia. But we all know what are their missions. They just want to be on top of Russia. The day Russia will accept that defeat, you'll see that war is going to finish immediately. So now, I just want to give also my point of view on this one. Biden is saying that no, according to what Putin had said, that they were going to take Kyiv in just a matter of days, and now we're talking about more than 2 years. They were still continuing over there, and it feels like no, they are winning because Russia can't defeat Ukraine anymore. No, guys. What is forgetting to say here is that Russia is actually fighting with multi nations. A lot of countries, they have put their power together. As I said, they're just using Ukraine with their president as a puppet president. They're fighting Putin over there. Do you think that if they have to put Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine will be able to resist Russia even for 3 days? No, I don't think so. So they have tried everything. They go there, they put their monies. You heard in his message, Uncle Joe Biden even said it, that they're going to put even more billions. We're talking about hundreds of billions of US dollar that they will supply to people of Ukraine in order for them to continue defending themselves. Now, tell me, of this kind of people, when are we gonna have peace in this world? Now, with that example that I just give you of Ukraine and Russia, this is the same thing that is happening again in the Arabic region. This war that you see between Israel and Palestine, it has nothing to do with the two countries. This is a way that the US, they are coming in order for them to attack Iran. Does it make sense? Of course it makes sense. Iran, they've been a serious threat to the United Nations because of their nuclear bomb that they've been developing, because of their different, whether it's satellites or gun machines that they've been producing lately, which seem to be a serious problem because Iran and the United States of America, they don't get along at all. Cuba with the US, they are even much better, but Iran, do you guys still remember what happened in 2019 when the United States of America attacked Iran? And Iran, in return, they went also and attacked the USA military base, which was situated somewhere. I forgot the name of that country. So Iran, they are not afraid, and they are so ready to engage in the war with the United Nations. And the United Nations, they know that if they have to go ahead in the conflict with Iran, it will create a lot of terrorists around the world, especially in the US. And that is something that the US, they don't want to stand. So they are trying to see each and every way possible that they can use in order for them to neutralize Iran with their plans. But how can them get to Iran if they don't go through something? If they don't go via a certain nation that they can use as much as they are using Ukraine right now? So they have to look for their alliance in the Arabic world, or should I say Arabic region. They have to look for one over there. Once they have that one partner, then they can use them. And this time they find Israel. Israel, which has been in conflict with Palestine for many times. Iran stand with Palestine. The moment Hamas attack Gaza, isn't it? It was the United States of America who came already confirming, saying that no, these Hamas people, they've been working with Iran without even having proof. So the United States of America, they're trying to bring more conflict in this Arabic region so that once this conflict is spread, they'll be able to come in and say that yes, we are the right people to bring solution. And we all know that these people, wherever they go, wherever they touch, things will never going to be the same anymore, because it will always be problem after problem. And that is what Iran does not want to see in his region. So now you understand what are their real mission over there. They want to do the same thing as the one they are doing in Ukraine. That is the reason why you see Uncle Joe Biden coming, saying that he's going to give serious fund to Israelite, because he wants to give them so that they'll be able to defend themselves. Just imagine that. Which means the life of people are being killed, those children, those women, those men. It does not matter to the eyes of Joe Biden. Instead, they want to perish the Palestinians. That is their plans, and we can all see that with their open eyes. No one should not come and fool you. So it is about time that Africa should position themselves in all this. Either they go with Joe Biden, or either they go with the people of Palestine, so that whatsoever has been happening over there can be condemned. Because even if it is a revenge, don't you think that by killing all those people is enough already? For how long will this have to continue? So I totally agree with Julius Malema in his message when he had to say all these things to the people of Palestine and Israel, even the world, so that they should understand that we don't need to be hypocrites anymore. We rather look each other into the eyes and be honest and tell each other the truth. That is how we can do things in the right way in this world. Guys, thank you so much. It was very important that we get to share this analysis with you and give you our point of view through our analysis, and try at least to get you understand the message of the president of EFF, Julius Malema, on how he sounded in his speech at the Israeli embassy, that they went to prostrate with the fighters of the EFF, so that we can understand exactly that no, we don't need to be hypocrite. At least they should know that there is some Pan-Africans in the Africa continent who speak without beating around the bush, without putting water in his mouth, who speak his mind after all. So that was very important. Before you leave, make sure that you do us a favor, hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed to our channel, because on this channel we talk about Africa, with Africa history. We talk about anything which has to do with Africa continent. We develop, we educate the mass, we talk about a lot of things. So we really do appreciate your time being here with us, because it is very important. We do appreciate you for that. And don't forget to leave us also your comment in the comment sections. You know, if you have anything or any remarks, or if you have any topic that you want to suggest to us so that we discuss it in our next video, you are free to do that in the comment section, because we always have time to look at your comment. Thank you so much for watching this video. For now, continue to be yourself. Be good, be kind, have respect for everyone in order for you to be respected. May God bless you all. I'll see you again very soon in our next video. Ciao, ciao.